So, tons of stuff, which people reaffirm to me every day. That's good. I used to think, well, I still do, but I used to think I was crazy and completely unfit and too flighty, and with the reaffirmation of the breathtakingness and the vitalness of grokking tacit, huge daily reaffirmation of that. And Roger Martin, that we need to protect that. So today and yesterday, really honing in on the idea of perhaps rather than thinking we need to go help the assumed poor, perhaps it's more about detoxing the assumed rich. And perhaps that will create Hans Rosling's equity, the shuffling about. And the part that seems so key about that is by detoxing the assumed rich, it's not like a kind service or whatever that there's perhaps no sustainability of. It's a, now I found my art and I can't not give. So it ends up being more a giving up than a, this is what we should do, we should share. Probably all sounds crazy, but that's the whole idea of grokking tacit. You can't explain it because you're living it, so the best thing to do is keep living it. So perhaps it's less about going in places of assumed poverty and helping them, and it's more about going in places of assumed richness and detoxing them. And the balancing act becomes more of a natural and chaotic process. So I was also thinking about reunions in school, and about folding back over on all these people. I mean, I do feel like I've been skimming across the top of water for the last 4 years, bumping into these amazing people and going, oh, cool, and storing that, and going, oh, cool, and storing that. Part of it's hard because it's like I crave a longer, deeper relationship with each one of them. And then part of it's knowing that we'll be back together, and so another reaffirmation of that happening. So thinking of a high school reunion, you get back together, and sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's just whatever. But that's part of it, is when we came together in those high school years, it wasn't necessarily about us choosing. I mean, choice is huge about all this. Choosing to give rather than feeling like it's a need. Okay, so like 4 years ago, and I'm sure other people have very similar stories, but for me, 4 years ago, you could call it a school. Some of us getting together with our school called Seeking World Peace, Seeking Equity, and separating And the coolest feeling ever is when you get back together and they're still doing that same thing because it was their choice. And so now, I mean, to me, it's a true modeling of collaboration, or cooperation, or whatever word you want to call it. Because we come together, we go apart. We come together, we go apart. We come together, and every time we come back together, we've each got some nugget to bring to the table. And it just intensifies. So I guess the reaffirmation for me comes, and this is interesting that I say reaffirmation so much. Reaffirming to myself that what I'm doing, what matters, is huge. Roger Martin is huge. Talking to the resistance is huge. Getting that rectangle of the busyness of the day to shrink as your belief, your dream grows. I guess it's just exciting being a part of that. My mind is all over. This morning, about this next 10 months. It just seems I need to draw more because I see it more clearly playing out. Copenhagen, IBM, Nome, Nikhil, Costa.